Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are joined by Amanda Onan, and it is so good to see you because we met about 9 months ago when you were just kind of getting going.
Exactly.
With college counseling.
Exactly.
Tell me that.
And had no idea it was
Clear
going to take
College
off.
Counseling.
Yeah, exactly. So Leanne and I started about 9 months ago, and obviously it's taken off. And the way that education has evolved, we're sort of now needed more than ever to be that cheerleader and the coach, and at the same time,
so you all
lean on.
are high school population oriented.
Exactly.
And just for the record, you spent half your life in education. So you've seen things, from like pre-internet. Right?
Right.
Kind of you raised
prior to Google
sort of,
and Google Docs.
Yeah, prior to all of that kind of stuff, to online learning at all, into online learning. And so, I mean, you've seen, having that kind of experience under your belt is, I think, part of why it's been so successful. You know what you're doing.
And to see now where we are with education and the whole COVID-19, it is going to change education forever, I think.
Yeah. How have you seen, what are some of the things that you're seeing immediately with this?
So most online learners are dedicated, very focused, very driven, and able to single-handedly block all those distractions.
That wasn't me, by the way.
Most of us aren't made that way. So really what's happened is it's just really hard for kids to know that even though that might not be due till Friday, I still have to do work on Monday. I still have to prepare for the test. And an open note test online is nothing like what we think it really is. It's probably one of the more difficult tests to take because we just assume we'll wait till test time, open our notes, and it's going to fly in our face and we'll find the answer. Yeah. Not so much. So it's really,
I've been thinking about that recently, about the way people process information, and what is retained and then accessible, and I think that you just hit the nail on the head with that when stuff is coming out, how accessible is it, right? So if you're not spending time for absorption, I think kids today don't really spend a lot of time in that whole absorption process. I've been wondering about their little processing units.
Most Americans, we read a page, and at the bottom of the page, we've had 600 other things going on our head, and we think, what did we just read? I got to read it all over again. So imagine being a teenager with the digital world and everything coming to us at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, with 17 Snapchats coming in and your TikToks over here going on, and this alert going on.
And their ability to comprehend and learn and regurgitate it, not just short-term memory, but be able to apply it to real life. Yeah. This is a different type of learning, and most of us want to see hands-on. We want to get our fingers on it. We want to be able to touch it and craft it.
Tactile.
And online learning is not that at all. So our business has sort of evolved to the fact that we have to really reiterate and come behind and coach students to be able to get them to stay on task and on target.
Like, by the way, you have all of this stuff in front of you.
Right.
How do you use it?
Right.
Are you seeing changes with SAT and ACT?
Of course. Obviously SAT's canceled now the 2 upcoming testing dates. Many schools have put out the fact that they are going to disregard testing scores, and they're looking at how they're going to weigh in on GPAs for this senior class.
Gosh.
And so anyway, it's changed the college application process.
Completely. I mean, that's like either a whole, those are resentments in the making for people who had to totally focus on that, right?
Right.
That's not fair, right? And then the other part that's like, whew, and then the other part that's like, oh my God, my GPA.
Exactly. So this entire gap of students, it's very different because we're looking at juniors, and it may be very different next year for juniors as they're in their senior year, and they've had fewer opportunities to take that SAT or the ACT.
And how do you build any kind of resume this year?
Right.
How do you build any kind of community service right now?
It is very difficult.
How do you build any kind of,
So it's a different world that we're in, and it's interesting to navigate the teenagers, and at the same time we're sort of navigating the parents.
Sure.
Because they want to just put the kid in front of a computer and say, get your work done, and it's not that easy.
It sure isn't.
There's things that need to happen in the home to make it successful.
There is. So much of life has been translated for the younger generation to a digital and an online life, but that human interaction is inevitable with your family, with the people that you just are forced to be around. So that dynamic is just...
It is very different.
Fascinating.
And to be able to explore what's life like after college. We can't go do college tours at the moment, and we can't go explore what life might be like at different types of schools.
Yeah.
So everything's done, like we do our ACT and SAT prep at the moment through Zoom, an online learning tool, and do our counseling sessions at a distance or over the virtual meeting. So it's a different world.
And clearly, I'm so happy that things have taken off for you because it is a much needed niche right now. So get in touch. Kids who are high school, juniors, seniors, you got to get in touch with me.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. So good to spend some time with you.
Yeah, good to see you.
We will be right back with more Talk of the Town.